I read this book out of curiosity, now I just wish I stayed curious. Like the girlies in the second wave feminism movements did not walk so this book could run. I'm going to riot in the streets. Hey y'all, and by y'all I mean no one, because no one's watching this. I sold out. I know I'm late to the trend, but I finally read Haunting Adeline, and if you don't know what that is, then God bless your soul, giving you nothing but love and light. But otherwise, if you do know what I'm talking about, then let's all start a GoFundMe so I can pay for our therapy. So because I suffered through reading this absolute monstrosity of a novel, you do too, but at least you can watch me do my makeup while I talk about it. So the book starts off with this woman, and her name is Adeline, and she's in her mid-20s and she hates her mom. So Adeline is an accomplished writer and she spends most of her time traveling, but recently her grandmother died, so she was able to move into her grandparents' old house, and it's kind of like a haunted house, freaky deaky kind of vibe. My first impressions of Adeline is that she is, now let me read my notes here, just like every other bitch. I can already tell that she likes caramel and pumpkin spice lattes and is the epitome of 2014 fall-time white girl with her infinity scarf, owl necklace, gray ankle boots, pleather pants, and knitted beanie. I don't hate her so far. So then we meet this like vigilante kind of guy, and he likes to torture PDF files and expose them for a living. We later get to know him as the male main character and the love interest of this novel, and his name is Zaid Meadows. Which, why do they always have the weirdest names? Why is it always like Riot or like Wolf or Zaid? It's giving celebrity children. It's giving Apple. It's giving Slim Jim and like the rest of Nara Smith's kids' names. But right off the bat, I hate this man's guts. I guess it's worth noting that like when I got into reading this book, I already didn't like it just because of what I was seeing on social media. I already knew quite a lot about it going into it, so I wasn't exactly going in with a fresh pair of eyes or like without judgments, because I was 100% going in with judgments. But even like not even 20 pages in, I can understand why people don't like this book. So the main plot of this book is that Adeline is trying to solve her great-grandma's murder because she was murdered in the same house that Adeline moved into, and her great-grandmother Gigi also had a stalker, and Zaid is trying to take down PDF file rings. I feel like if this book focused on this solely without like any of the other aspects of it, I think it would have been so much better, but alas, here we are. So on page 28, I'm just gonna upload a screenshot. Zaid is so stupid. Genuinely, just a stupid man. I hate the way his inner monologue is written, and this book genuinely makes me think, chase your dreams, girl. Just, if you want to write that book, write it. Because if this can get published, girl, I have every last bit of faith in you, okay? You can do it. And publishing that book is one of them, so chase your dreams, girl. Miss H.D. Carlton could get this published, and so can you. So one day, Zaid sees Adeline at a book signing because she's an author. As soon as he sees her, he is obsessed. And he vows that he'll do absolutely anything to have her, which might I add is absolutely crazy. Like the girlies in the second wave feminism movements did not walk so this book could run. Because what do you mean you want to have her? So then in Adeline's POV, she's just chilling in her house, minding her damn business, like she should, and she hears a little bit of a rustle, a little bit of a bang. She's going, looking in her house, looking around. She's like, well, what's going on here? What am I hearing? Because her house is haunted, so she hears these sounds all the time, but they sound a little bit more human-like. So she's like, I'm gonna investigate. So she's looking around, she's investigating. In her kitchen, she finds a rose on her counter. She immediately, and rightfully so, is like, what the heck? And then she crushes it and throws it out, and maybe that's where she and I differ as people, because the rose is a rose, okay? You best know my gothic ass is taking that rose and drying that bitch out and adding it to my collection of dead flowers. And one thing that I clocked pretty fast is that Zaid is trying to be a feminist, talking about like women's rights and their autonomy and all that. In so many occasions, just the way that he talks about Adeline, the things that he does, the very fact that he's stalking her, contradicts himself. Like, you can't just do that. Like, has bro never heard of choice feminism? Like, girly pop is an upper class, conventionally attractive white woman. At least give her that privilege, okay? At least give her the privilege of white feminism. Okay, I know I look crazy. Let me cook. Okay, so like every other book, this is about the time when we need the male main character to give the main girly pop her nickname. And what does Zaid Meadows settle on? I'll give you a couple seconds to guess. Did you think Little Nose? Then you're correct. Huh? I'm offended by this nickname that he gave her. I'm sorry, but this book had the perfect opportunity to give Adeline a cute little gothic nickname like My Agony, My Dark Angel, My Sonnet. and bro settled on little mouse because he's a cat chasing the mouse. I'm going to riot in the streets. Also, why does he keep calling her little girl? Literally frees minors, children in the skin trade for a living. Like, that's what he does. You're out here calling your love interest little girl? Like, the irony is completely lost on him. It's giving Predator. So then there's this wild string of events where Adeline goes to the club with her best friend, Daya. Yes, I use my fingers because your fingers are your best tool, and I could not be bothered to wash my makeup brushes, and I don't have a beauty blender because I'm too lazy to buy a beauty blender. So, fingers. And then she meets this guy named Archie. That's right, guys. Riverdale version of Archie Andrews is back. Reincarnated. Like, close enough. Welcome back, KJ Appa. We're glad to see you here. Welcome to the club. Then she goes to hook up with this guy, and Zayd sends her a text because he's been a sneaky little hacker guy. He's a hacker. He knows what he's doing with technology. He sends her a text and he's like, you better not let him touch you, or bad things are gonna happen, girly pop. So he threatens to chop off this guy's hands if she lets him touch her. And you know what she does because she's not like other girls? She's like, I don't care. I'm still gonna get with this guy because he can't control me. I'm sorry, girl. I don't know, but like, if someone threatened me, I'm not just gonna be like,
they probably don't mean it.
I believe them.
So then she does indeed go to hook up with Archie, and guess what happens? She finds his hands on her doorstep. Like, did we not see this coming? So yeah, she's got severed hands on her doorstep. Daya goes to dispose of them because she tells Daya's like, what the heck is going on here? But she is a little hacker girly. So she's like, I've seen things like this. I've seen things. I'll get rid of this for you so you don't have to deal with the trauma. So she goes to bury the hands. And then Zayd sends her a little text talking about, I keep my promises. I told you this would happen. Like, bro, that is not Riz. That is El-Riz, if anything. But most of all, I don't like Zayd because I hate him that holds a grudge. You cannot catch me holding a grudge. I like to live life without a weight on my shoulders. I like to be light as a feather, okay? And I'm not gonna let a grudge hold me down. That's just me. Okay, do I look incredibly orange? I know that my lighting usually always makes me orange because that's just the lamp I would use, but I like completely changed around my room. So this is like a new setup. How y'all like the new setup? My window is like right here, so it's like giving me the natural light I need, and I look significantly less orange. I'm gonna try to like even it out a little bit. Okay, so on page 140, I'm not gonna lie, I'm giggling, I'm kicking my feet. Zayd has a little habit of coming to Adeline's house and just staring at her like a fucking creep, okay? But we're gonna ignore that, okay? We're gonna get past that. Adeline's used to it. She's like, what the heck is this man doing? He's so annoying. Stop coming to my house. She's like, I've had enough. So she storms out of her house, both hands against his chest, just pushing him away. She's like shoving him, full contact. This is the first time that they've had skin to skin contact. And she's like, bro, get off my property. What are you doing? Like, the way I audibly said, oh my God, because all logic aside, I have to say that was a badass move on Adeline's behalf. That made me like her significantly more, just because I feel like I would be mad and frustrated enough if I had a stalker, and I would, like, without hesitation do that. I'd be like, man, what are you doing? Walmart's hiring. Go get a job. Like, why do you have all this free time? Start a YouTube channel or something. Like, Sudoku is a free game that you can get on your phone. Get a hobby, preferably one that doesn't include watching me out of my window, you fucking creep. So yeah, I really like Adeline when she does this. This is the type of girl boss feminism I like to see in my books. I love to see a white girl doing her thing. Also, this is the first time I'm putting on a full face of makeup, like bronzing and everything, so wish me luck. Wait, this is my second time. I did a little goth makeup on my TikTok. If you want to follow my TikTok, it's here. If you want to follow my Instagram, it's here. And all the links to my other social media is in the description. So then Zayd breaks into Adeline's house yet again. Truly, truly jobless behavior, bro. Please set up an Indeed account. Get clicking. I'm sure you'll make amazing connections. And she finds him in her bedroom because he texts her and he's like, look for me. And she's like, I'm intrigued. He tells her she's got to run, and if she can hide for 10 minutes and he won't find her, then he'll leave the house. But if he does find her, then she'll be punished for doing something wrong. But she didn't do anything wrong, he's just being annoying. He finds her with ease, and then he assaults her for the first time.
But imagine how tired we are.
Assault number 1 of many in chapter 15, not even halfway through the book. So this is where I'm gonna give a little trigger warning for SA, I suppose, because there's a lot of SA and like just dubious consent. But in my opinion, the dubious consent is just SA. Like, there is no a way around it. You can't just say it's not. Like, I know this is supposed to be a romance novel, but if it's not consensual, that's just assault. That is just SA. Like, if 2 + 2 = 4, then what the fuck is this? Math is not mapping. So then in chapter 16, and there is another assault. Adeline is dubiously, consensually R-worded, graped, if you will. Crazy. We are 2 for 2 right now for assault, baby. Are you having fun? I'm not. So then there's this guy named Max, and Max was best friends with Archie Andrews. Remember, Archie Andrews is dead. His hands were on Adeline's doorstep thanks to Zaid. Now, Max knows that Archie Andrews is dead, and he's like, what the heck? Why were his hands on your doorstep? Because he's mafia adjacent. He can find these things out. He found out that Dea buried his best friend's hands, but the thing is, Adeline is a little dumb. All she ever does is call the police, and that doesn't help her because the police are rarely ever helpful. Come on, we already know this information. So she's like, bro, I have nothing to do with this. I don't know what's going on. I have a stalker. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I didn't do this. And then Max stalks away, and he's like,
Sure you don't.
so remember that for later. Now, me personally, if I had a stalker, you'd see the dirt kicking up from my feet as I hop the border, running as fast as I can, and escape the country. Merlin. Never heard of them. I got a new name, a new identity, a new age. I'm 5 years older now. I got a new face, a new hairstyle. You won't know how to recognize me, and that's if I have enough will to live to escape. Otherwise, I'm escaping a different way. That's a lot more permanent. But that's me. And then guess what happens in chapter 18? Is it A happy ending? Is it B, Adeline catches a break? Or is it C, Adeline gets assaulted yet again? Take a guess, guys, take a guess. Did you guess C? Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. It literally goes on for like 20 pages. Shocker? I didn't think so. Like you're fussing and you're joking. So then guess what happens in chapter 21? The same thing. The same thing. I'm starting to think there's a theme going on in this book. I'm starting to think that H.G. Carlton has a vibe, has a certain set of expertise that she likes to write about. Allegedly. Not even allegedly. I'm just some bitch on the internet yapping it up. I'm just saying it's a little suspicious. I don't know why people enjoy to read about this. It's very uncomfortable. The entire time I was reading it on the train, I was like, that was my face. And I fully admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that I was a little bit disturbed. But what's even more disturbing is that after a while, you start to get a little bit desensitized to it, and like, you're like, oh, it happens again, okay. Like, so then this guy who's eating at a restaurant with Zaid clocks Adeline, and he's like, oh my god.
This baby with Jaeger. That's Armin.
And he's not a girl. Hey there, Armin. So what do you like to do? The thing you need to know about Mark is that he's a PDF file. And he is part of this big ring of PDF files, and they all like to be PDF files together and do PDF file stuff. Zaid is trying to infiltrate them, and he's trying to become friends with Mark so he can take it down from within. But Mark doesn't know this, and because Adeline's so pretty, he's like, oh, I could sell her into the skin trade. Let me take a picture. Zaid's like, no, that's my girl. Stay away from her. Then Mark is like, oh, my bad, cuh. I didn't know. So then he's like, let me introduce myself to her. He walks up to Adeline. Adeline's like, what the heck? Zaid, what are you doing here? Mark gets off of Adeline's back, but he does invite them to a party. So not a lot happens there except for Zaid fingering Adeline in a home theater while they watch a horror movie because Adeline's a cheeky little girly who likes to get off her rockers while she's afraid. And Zaid takes advantage of this on several occasions because he's a weirdo. One thing I don't understand is why this book is so self-aware but so like not self-aware. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like Zaid fully recognizes that he hates PDF files. He's like, I hate people who take advantage of women and take advantage of others. Yet in the same breath, he's stalking Adeline. Yet in the same breath, he completely disregards her autonomy and her lack of consent whenever they do anything. Girl, the call's coming from inside the house. Are you stupid? I think Zaid is genuinely stupid because there's no way like an intelligent man thinks this way. I have enough faith in humanity that men don't actually like think the way Zaid does. I hope, I plead, I beg. It's given golden hour. So then there's this Halloween theme park, and Adeline and Dea are going together, but guess who they find? They find Mark. Mark is like, oh my god, Adeline, what are you doing here? As if he like didn't know that she'd be there, and then like actually tracked her down and tried to like kidnap her. But anyway, she's like, what are you doing here? And then Adeline sees Mark's wife, and her name is Claire. Now, why do you think Claire matters? It's because Adeline describes Claire as demure. Claire's very demure. She's very mindful. She's very cutesy. So at this theme park, Zaid murders a bunch of people. Adeline gets away and Mark is dead. Moving on. Chapter 30 is the first chapter where Adeline and Zaid have consensual sexual relations, if you will. It's kind of crazy that I have to point out whether or not it was consensual. That says a lot about this book, but we continue. There's something so incredibly humbling about seeing weird romance quotes on my Instagram reels on Chaperone's internet into the year 2024. I'm seeing these cringy, weird romance book quotes pasted over a bunch of pictures of very cutesy, demure girls, and then these husky, alpha male looking guys. And it's just the most obscene romance quotes. And then finally reading the book that they pertain to and seeing the context. Like the first thing that comes to mind is that quote, if I catch you, I f you. Like, you what? Okay. And then there's that other quote where Zayd's like, yeah, I am your god. Huh? Girl, I'm atheist, okay? Don't, you ain't the one. I'm agnostic. What are we talking about right now? First of all, why am I finding this on the internet? On my For You page, the one I built brick by brick. I should be seeing chimera thirst traps. What is this? Second, now that I know the context, you would think it would get better, but it doesn't, it gets worse. Knowing the context makes it so much worse. Why is he chasing her in the middle of a forest? 4 a.m. Catching her and assaulting her in a car. What are we talking about here? I thought we were past that. One of my biggest gripes is that Zayd preaches constantly about women's rights, their autonomy, talking about how he's holier than thou because he literally constantly saves women and children from the skin trade, yet he's out here doing the same thing to Adeline. The hypocrisy. Bro is literally a predator in every way, every definition. I'm tired. I'm trying to clock out. Okay, I'm gonna try this new eyeliner I got. It's Tattoo Studio Ink Pen by Maybelline. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. I don't hate it. It's quite good, actually. It's very soft and very smooth. I rate it 4 out of 5. Why not? Every once in a while, H.G. Carlton will spit out an absolute banger of a bar. Like, damn, she low-key didn't have to cook that hard. Like in this quote from Zayd that says, one day you will realize that you are not trapped in a prison. You are in my church where I am your God and you are my equal. I am not a jail, little mouse. I am your sanctuary. Listen, I know that is cringe, but like the content of what he's saying, I am not your jail, I am your sanctuary. I am your God and you are my equal. She kind of ate the house boots down. Like, am I wrong in thinking this? Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments. I hate how Zayd equates love with obsession because it's not the same thing. Also, I want to make it known that Zayd is the dark romance equivalent to that guy in high school who presents as hood. Like, he really wants to be hood. He wants everyone to think that he's from the streets, from the block. He's not. He's got a loving family, 2 parents, happily married for 30 years, 2-story house, an allowance since he was like 12. He's set, okay? He's good. Don't worry. Because in the story, he's like, yeah, my parents died when I was young, but like other than that, I had a pretty good life. Like, I just choose to be like this because I want to. Like, I can't give you excuses, Zayd. If you act this way willingly of your own accord, if you choose to be an awful person just for fun, just for shits and giggles, then I can't defend you. Like, I'm sorry, I ain't the one. Okay, what do we think of this look combo? Okay, I want to try these lashes that I got. I like Chinese lashes, and I remember in one of my videos I said that I wanted some Chinese lashes because the Chinese girlies got the cutest lashes on. Like, they're always so cute, they look so nice, and they're very dainty, they're very demure. This is what they look like. Okay, what do we think? Can you tell that I'm wearing them? And then Adeline gets an envelope in the mail, has a bunch of pictures and a letter that has incriminating evidence saying that the person who killed her grandmother Gigi was her husband's best friend because he was in love with her, and it was in fact not her stalker. So then Adeline calls her mom to tell her the news, and her mom already knew. Plot twist, covered it up and made it so that no one would know that it was her mom who lied for the great grandmother. And then Zayd goes to the ritual. Turns out it's all a setup. his team gets busted, and Adeline comes to terms with the fact that she is indeed in love with Zaid. Then Adeline gets kidnapped. Guess who she gets kidnapped by? Max. So then, yeah, that's the cliffhanger that the book ends. Can you tell I'm tired? I don't care anymore. In the last 200 pages, I was skimming them. So yeah, makeup's done. So here's some of my final thoughts that I wrote down. The cliffhanger sucks. I rate the book 1 out of 5 stars. If I could rate it -1 star, I would. If I could rate it -5 stars, I would. But Goodreads is Goodreads. Enough said. The book was really corny, and I know that I'm not like the target demographic because I am very critical of the media that I consume. So to enjoy this book, I feel like you'd have to be the type of person that just lets shit slide. Like, oh, my stalker killed my ex-boyfriend and sent me his hands in a basket and left it on my porch. That's fine. I'm sorry, but I'm just not that type of nonchalant. I never claimed to be, and I never will be. This book is literally the definition of I fucked around and I found out. Because I did indeed find out. And I wish I didn't fuck around. I'm not opposed to a morally great character. I never have been. I love Grim from Lightlark. He is my man, and I will defend him to my last dying breaths. But I hate a lying bitch, and that's exactly what Zaid is. He's not morally gray, he's just a bad guy. And I wish people would stop calling this book a romance or a dark romance or a romantic horror. It's not, it's just a plain horror book. At its worst, it's just horror. At its best, it's the definition of that Curse of Freaky font. I feel like if the book was about Adeline's grandmother Gigi, it would have been a lot better, and written by a different author, like say Ali Hazelwood or something, it would have been a lot better and I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But as it stands, I think this book was written to be like an audiobook or a TV series because it reads awfully, but like if you listen to their voices, I feel like it would be better, minus all like the weird assault scenes and like the absolute rancid intimacy scenes. It was absolutely awful. I just feel like it didn't translate well as written text. Like, does that make sense? And also, it's just because it really spoon-fed the plot and like assumes the reader is stupid, and like I hate books that insult my intelligence. By no means am I Einstein, but like, come on, like I don't need a character to say something in dialogue and then to restate it in the following paragraph. Like, what is this? An English essay using point-proof analysis? 3 cycles of PPA to really drive home the point? So in conclusion, the writing's bad, it's goofy, it's cringe, it's crass, it's juvenile, the dialogue is bad, and the absolute worst part of the book is indeed Zaid, who, by the way, isn't intimidating, he's just annoying and he sounds stupid. Everyone point and laugh at him. Anyways, I thought it would be funny to read some Goodreads reviews. So this is by Izzy, and they rated it 5 stars and said, "This book is not enough. I need to fuck Zaid." We know too much about each other. Ali said, "So unhinged, yet so sexy. I'm definitely questioning all my morals." Rated 5 stars. Police? Yes, this is the police. Okay, she's right there. She's right over there. Yeah, she's right there. Liv's review says, "Very disturbing read. Fire emoji." I thought it was funny because it's 1 star. Larissa's review said, "After further inspection, I fear I love this book." And then honestly, Sophie's review says, with a 1 star, "People that say they like this book are the same people who are too scared to make a phone call themselves." Calling people out, my favorite pastime. Then Mattatail's review, which is 1 star, says, "So you're telling me he is trying to fight against trafficking and wants to save victims, but at the same time he abuses and calls her little girl just like he calls multiple victims in this book? Is that not exactly what I said? Is that not exactly what I thought? It would be different if he called her like one hell of a woman, like, you know, like something like really describes like how much of a great woman she is, but he's always calling her like little girl and infantilizing her and brother, ugh." And Tanya's review said, "I read this book out of curiosity and I wish I stayed curious." And that's it. I finished my little spiel about Haunting Adeline. I hated it. If you liked Haunting Adeline, then seek help. And I will not say anything like, "Oh, dark romance is just not for me." No, if you like this book, I'm concerned. I'm actually concerned. Does anyone know how to get your lash glue to not do this? Because my lash glue always does this and I don't know how to help it because it was expensive. I'm not trying to like waste my lash glue. But anyways, if you like this video, then make sure to leave it a like, leave a little comment. Put a, you know that like rotting flower emoji? Like that dead flower? That is my favorite emoji, so put that in the comments if you like this video. Thank you for watching. All my social media is in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. I will say bye with these lashes that I got that I actually really like. Bye.